So, hello and welcome to our May behind the scenes glimpse video. We did quite a lot this month because we did 2 full plays and we did some scenes. So we're going to begin with some words from the Timon cast, then we have a little bit from scenes, then we have more responses to King John. You know all the other stuff that we've been doing. What have I been doing in Prompter's Corner? It's been a busy month, so there's been a lot of script preparation going on. I'm working ahead on the tragedies for the autumn, but we're also preparing Much Ado About Nothing, which has needed a lot of work, and well, everything else really, all the other things that we do to keep going in between shows. So that's all I really want to say from Prompter's Corner this month. So here we go with a few responses to Timon of Athens. Wasn't that fun?
Hello, I'm Siegfried Love Walker, and I had the pleasure of playing Timon in Shakespeare production of Timon of Athens by William Shakespeare. It was very interesting in a sense because, well, you don't have time to think a lot about what you do when you're in the play, because first there is a lot of lines, a lot of text, but also because every time I just play, I just read or say my lines, period. And what is interesting, and I always found this very interesting about Shakespeare's plays, is that it's so well written that if you just say your lines, even if you don't bring your own emotions in the mix, the lines draw the emotions from you, and just by saying the lines, your character takes life, and your emotions are coming in. Timon is a very interesting character because he's probably one of the most philanthropic persons, and because he gives so much to people who just take advantage without giving back afterwards, he becomes so disillusioned and so angry in a sense that when he is in need and asks for people who he gave so much, well, they just turn their backs to him. And so you have what we would call a turning of the dime, very, very, very neat in the play. So you have these 2 opposite sides of the same person, this change of personality, and which brings him from one extreme to the other. Is it good to be such a philanthropist, giving too much of your own wealth and time and all? Is it a good thing? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's an extreme after all, and some people maybe are not in extremes, and at the same time becoming very, very angry at the world, very misanthropist. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Once again, for some it will be, for some it won't be. And I think this is interesting a lot, this play, because it tells a lot about the human, how can I put this? Human nature when it comes to possessions, wealth, greed, and all that. Anyway, it was very interesting performing it. It was very, very physical because there is a lot of text, and it was, as always fantastic performing with Shakespeare actors and actresses. We had a hell of a time, and I can't wait to do some more. Take care, everyone, and See you very shortly online and maybe in real life. Goodbye.
So Timon of Athens was my first full play, not only with Shakespeare, but also with cube-based Shakespeare in general. And it was a blast. I had a really great time. I was so honoured to be part of that amazing cast. And I think the best thing about it was just how you can just let it go. You can do a full play with just a few bits and pieces that are just yours, and it all comes together, and it's really nice. You can, you know, the first scene, I was really nervous because I just didn't want to make sure my exits and entrances and everything were okay. And then as the play progressed, I then just realised it is just about letting go, and that whatever happens, happens, and it's like, it's meant to be, you know. And yeah, no, it was lovely. It's lovely seeing what other people have created, because everything is a surprise when you see it, and you feel like you're the audience as well. And in fact you are, because you've really got to listen, probably more so than the audience. And yeah, so that was really great. It keeps it fresh and it makes it really accessible as well. So I am just very honoured to have been part of that. And I hope I get to do lots more in the future.
So, this has been unusual for me, doing a post-production video. But since I did actually get on stage for this time for Timon, I think it's warranted. So for me, that was particularly strange. The having to sort of simultaneously be the offstage eye and an onstage presence. Now, I know why I don't do that as the whole. It's one of those things. It's really different watching a play from one point of view, one perspective, and then being in it. It's almost like being two sides of a mirror, and trying to be on both at the same time. It's just, well, it's quite confusing. Although it was fun. It's a long time since I've done sort of a full play scene with the company, so that was fun. I do think the scenes that I created, the characters of there were two lords, Athanasius and Nicolaus, which was me and the lovely Aaron from Chicago. I think it's odds on now, having looked at it really, really thoroughly, that they were in fact something like Lucullus and Sempronius, as we see in subsequent scenes. But it's that annoying thing I talked about in the interval chat. They are not named, so it's very difficult to tell in that case. But I was so pleased with how it went. It was a play that I was quite anxious about, because it's such a broken play. The language is in the number of comments that the cast were giving me in advance of wow, the line structure and the meter, and what do I do here, and how do I handle this, and what does this mean? It was much more problematic for us in that respect than it generally is. I was saying to everybody, well, it's the nature of the play. We don't know why. We're just going to do what we know how to do and do it as well as we can. And I think it worked. And so delighted to be able to give Siegfried finally a nice big leading role. He's been so patient for 2 years. I do love when casting to try and mix it up and make sure everybody gets, well, the parts that are right for them. There's no such thing as someone is the lead actor and someone is the bit part player, you know. But it is a question of the right part, the right character for the right person's energy. And given that I like Siegfried very much, you could say, well, what are you saying about someone that you cast them as Timon? Well, I was saying I think you're the actor to take on this challenge, and I think he did really well. So there we go. That was my experience of Timon.
I have much affection for Timon of Athens, the play, because I have seen it. Still wasn't that clear what was going on afterwards. But before that, it was in my first foray into Q-script work, when we were just doing scenes, you know, and we weren't allowed to do plays that we were familiar with. And I was playing Timon, and I did a scene, you know, where he's in the forest and Apomantus comes to visit him, which I always rather liked, although I you know, didn't know what the rest of the play was about really. And this time I was playing lots of small parts, which meant lots of juggling costume changes and taking jackets on and off, which I always enjoy. But I did realise it's very like society today, in a way where our leaders are somewhat detached from reality and often get blamed for stuff that isn't their fault and don't get blamed enough for the stuff that is.
And here we are with a few responses to the 3 o'clock sitting of Scenes on Sunday the 15th of May, which were so much fun for us to do and so very much affected by everybody's favourite, the repeated cue. I cannot say how much I love them. I just can't.
Hi everyone, we just finished doing the 3 o'clock scenes today with Shakespeare, and whoa, so much fun. So much fun. I loved every second of that. It was fantastic. I think my favourite thing is just performing with other actors and seeing what they bring and then responding to that, which can sometimes be hilarious and terrifying at the same time. I think that's why I also love cue-based Shakespeare so much, because you don't really know what the other person's going to say. So in that moment, you have to decide how you're going to react to them, and I totally love it. So if you watched, woohoo! And if you didn't watch, press play and give us a watch and share with your friends, and yeah, I can't wait till next time. Bye!
So that was after Scenes earlier this month. If you were watching, I hope you were, on Sunday when we did King John, you'll know that we are retiring Scenes temporarily to give the company a little bit of a break over this busy summer. But we will be bringing back into the Patreon gallery some reminder links of scenes of the past. There are so many, so many. So I really hope you will enjoy those instead. So, the last thing we've done this month was, of course, King John. Here are some of the company with some thoughts following that performance. Oh boy, did the internet hate us. Oh my, I don't think we've ever had that amount of just internet glitches and people falling off the call. Anyway, it was King John. We did it. And here are the company.
Right. I'm back covered in blood again. Seems to be how I end up all the time. Yes. Don't you dare say that's how I like to be, because that is... no comment. I just really want to know what happens to Blanche after this, because my headcanon is that she's come back as me. And she's disguised herself as a boy to come back to England, but that's just me. I don't know why she disappears. I don't know why the women in general just disappear in this play. And as fun as the bastard is, I was really hoping for more plotting from Philip. So this play is a weird one. I love it, but it's a weird one.
Well, I know this is a very personal backstage note, but I think this is the first time in these 2 years where you actually see the sun shining on my face. Welcome, sun. We are in summertime.
Well, there were a few firsts for me in King John. It was my first introduction to King John, the first time I've done a Zoom fight. And I want to say a big thank you to Alexandra for all her wonderful instruction and for being patient with me, because I was actually on my boat in Voi Harbour while she was helping me with the different moves. And the other thing was, Lady Falconbridge, I just wish there had been more about her, because she seemed a fascinating character. Thanks.
Guess who's got to scrub her upper lip again? This girl.
Hello. So, we've just finished the Q script performance of King John, and it was a bit bonkers, I don't mind saying. It's not a play I know very well. I've seen it once before, I think, in performance. And I got a lot of fun things to do in this one. I always like it when I get a range of characters. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's always nice to play a character through, but it's also just fun to be able to, you know, play around with different characters and different roles. Had plenty of fun doing the over-the-top French accents. I hope my French friends are going to forgive me for that one. It was quite silly, but very enjoyable. And again, they're sort of written with that in mind. There's some really interesting work David and Ben Crystal have done on the pronunciation of Shakespeare's language, and I heard them talk about the way that French sometimes, or the French accent of the time, sometimes created interesting opportunities for the accent of the characters in the role. So anyway, I hope that there was something entertaining in there for you, and you know, apologies for any liberties being taken. Also got to play a wonderful character towards the end. We named him Baggart, although in the original his name was Bigot, which I think is quite interesting. He was good fun as well, very different kind of energy. So yeah, good fun was had.
Hello, quick video about King John. Very enjoyable. A play I did not know at all, so it was absolutely fascinating to hear it unfold and see what happened, and to discover that my character, the Queen Eleanor, dies. I didn't even know when I began. Halfway through the play, never reappears again, and I particularly enjoyed being the executioner, number 2. Although I'd said nothing, and I don't really think we'd even rehearsed that bit, but it was it was very, very enjoyable, and I think it worked that we just were these imposing presences on the screen for a moment, and I thought everybody was excellent. And yes, what is it? An unusual play. Thank you for casting me as always, Lizzie. Bye.
And as Valentina peels off her moustache, ouch, this is the end of our month's video. Apart from, I'm sticking on the end of it, Siegfried's little behind-the-scenes video, which he did for the company to help them with the French accents, which I hope you enjoyed in King John. We'll see you next month with lots of news following King John and everything else that we're going to be getting ready for, all the preparation for Much Ado and all of that fun and games. So, see you in June.
Hello everyone, hope you're doing great. Following Lizzie Huxley's need for my video on the French accent, I don't have it, but I can give you some quick pointers to all of you, everyone, if you need to speak like a common frog for one of your roles. Basically, the first thing that you need to do is basically to unstress every syllable, because compared to the English language, which is based on stress and unstressed syllables, as you all know, the French language is very monotonal. So basically, speak flat, like speak boring in a sense. So just speak like this because this is the way. So that's the first thing. You need to speak very flat, monotonal. Second thing. Every TH is transformed into an S and Z sound. So basically, the become the, and let's say thick becomes sick, which is a bit annoying because how do you make the difference when you're French between thick and sick? I suppose the context of the sentence can help. But yeah, so basically, in a very quick way, when you have a lot of time to try and mimicate the common frog accent, yeah. Basically, it said, speak flat, speak boring, and unstress every syllable, and transform all your THs into sa and za.